Hey guys, it's Brian back with another video, and today I'm excited to bring to you what's something I've been working on: the crafted PvP best in slot list and the crafted PvE best in slot list. These are going to be templates. Obviously, your list might look slightly different if you're running different weapons than I am. I have a little note here. You have something like empowering fireball. You're definitely going to want to run that in your setup, right? So obviously, you just pull out one of these other perks and slot that in. Okay. Very easy to use though. Very easy to use this list. You can fill in stuff, pull it out, and work around it to your liking. Okay, but let's go ahead and jump into the PvP list first. For the um, helm, chest, glove, boots, and pants. The setup is going to be we're going to want to run our main stat, our secondary stat, or a mix of our main and secondary stat. The gem slot is going to vary depending on the meta of your server, so go ahead and fill that in accordingly. Obviously, on something like Eldorado, my server, there are a lot of great axes against me, so I would want to run, slash resistance in these slots, right? Okay, that's what I mean by that. Okay, for the perks, resilient, refreshing evasion, and something like either refreshing or freedom is going to be what I'm running. Um, if I was a melee player, I think I would prio freedom over refreshing, just because getting to your target is vital, right? Um, whereas being ranged, I'll be able to outplay, maneuver, and avoid CC for the most part. But yeah, for helm, chest, gloves, boots, and pants, we're gonna run resilient, refreshing evasion, and then refreshing or freedom, depending on the setup you have. Okay. Jumping over to our jewelry for amulet, we are gonna run health. This is gonna be plus a 9.4, I believe, percent health increase, and then we're gonna again run that refreshing evasion and refreshing. For the jewelry here, I have listed pre-bis items. Same for the gear, which is just going to be faction gear for PvP. It's going to be your pre-bis. But for the amulet, again, health, refreshing evasion, and refreshing is going to be best set up. For ring, we're looking at keen awareness, and then which is going to be 11% crit. Damage, I have thrust damage listed because that's what I'm running, right? I'm a bow player. Replace this with whatever damage. There's plus fire damage, plus ice damage, whatever it is that you want to run. Slot that in for your setup. And then you want to run refreshing or refreshing evasion, whichever one you prefer. Again, I have some pre-crafted bist items set up here for while you're making your way towards these crafted bist items. You can pick up some of these other items like the featherweight ring, which is an insane ring, for example. Okay, over to the earring. Refreshing toast is a must-have in my opinion. One of the best perks in the game for PvP. This is going to bring the cooldown on your potions from 30 seconds to about 20 seconds. I think it's like a 28% cooldown reduction on it. So it's not exactly 10 seconds off of it, but it's pretty necessary, guys. This is insane perk. If you haven't run it yet, trust me, you won't want to ever run without it once you've tested it. Okay, and then again, refreshing evasion, and that refreshing. And with all these CDRs and perks added together, this is what we're going to be looking at for the armor stats. Okay, we're going to have 24% crit reduction, meaning crits against us are doing 24% less damage. That's massive. Every time we roll, we're knocking off almost 8% of our active CDR. Okay, that's massive. So you have, say you have for example, say you have an ability that's on 10-second cooldown, and you roll twice, you just knocked off almost 16% of that CDR. Okay, that's almost 2 seconds off of that just from rolling twice. Okay, and obviously you're going to be in like wars and stuff, you're going to be rolling constantly all the time. This is going to add up very quickly. Okay, and then you're going to have the choice of having 22.4% max CDR. That's if you're picking refreshing over freedom every time. So that's going to be 22.4% off the total cooldown of your abilities. Or you're going to have that 24% stun, silence, and slow reduction, plus a little bit of the max CDR from the jewelry refreshing. Okay, you're going to have that 9.4% max health from your amulets perk, I believe. Of course, that increased damage from the ring perk, crit chance from the ring perk, and that potion CDR. Okay, this is what the PvP setup's going to look like for the armor, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the weapons. I just have like a little template set up of what I run for the bow, rapier, and hatchet. We're going to look at, of course, that Dex Con or Dex Plus Con. For the bow, I'm going to try to avoid getting into too much detail here. I like to just be like a template setup for any weapon type or anything. But for you guys that are following me, I know you want to know exactly what I'm running for the bow. So there are two different ways you can run the bow. You can run like a one-shot headshot type build, or just like a standard crit damage build. But for the one-shot build, you'll run Onyx and Vorpal. For the standard build, you'll run an Opal with Keenly Jagged, right? And then for both, you're running Enchanted and Vicious. Okay, that's best setup for in my opinion. For the rapier, you're gonna run same stats, Opal or an Elemental Gem. Enchanted refreshing move is going to be insane on the rapier. That's going to be about 2.8% CDR per light attack, and if you've used the rapier, you know how fast that's going to add up. That's going to be completely insane. You're going to be having I don't even know how many times what the cooldown on riposte is going to be after you add all this together. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait to see it. Anyways, and then you'll have rogue. You could potentially replace rogue if you're struggling to get to the backs of people. You could replace that with like a vicious, maybe a keen speed could work on the rapier. Could be nice. It's definitely a flex slot. And then hatchet, there's two setups for the hatchet. One's a moonstone setup where you're willing to go toe to toe with other melee, even though you're in light armor. You're not afraid because you're going to proc your defy death, which is going to give you max value out of your moonstone, max value out of your keen berserk. You're going to also have vicious and enchanted, so you're going to be chunking him. That's the idea of the build. I haven't run the hatchet like this, but in my mind, I think it's going to be insane. I'm looking forward to testing it. And the consistent build, the way I've always run the hatchet so far, is on the Opal side. You'd run the Opal, Enchanted, Vorpal distancing throw, and keen speed. And you're just going to use it as a support weapon for the bow and kite with it. Okay. All right. Now over to the PVE side of things. Again, it's going to be the same stat lineup. For the gem slot, you are either going to run a Carnelian, which is going to reduce your threat generation, or you can run a damage mitigation gem if damage is a problem. Okay, and then perk 1 is going to be I listed it as X monster type ward, and there's going to be wards for every single monster type in the game. Okay, and if we're talking min max here, to the most optimal setup for gear, let's say they release raids, and there's 4 different raids, and there's a corrupted raid, there's a lost raid, there's an ancients raid, and there's an angry earth raid. You're gonna want to have 4 different gear setups, one for each of those raids, if we're talking most optimal, the most min max you can get, right? And each one of those is gonna have the monster type's ward on the gear and the monster type's bane on the weapon. Okay, that's going to be the BIS setup and what we're going to want to run. Okay, so going back into it, we have for gear, we have monster type ward and refreshing evasion and refreshing. Just going to pump that CDR up. It's going to pump out more abilities. It's going to be more damage. Okay, for jewelry, we have health again, and it's much of the same. Okay, refreshing evasion, refreshing, get that crit, get that damage type, whatever it is for you. Refreshing or refreshing evasion, whichever one you prefer. And then refreshing toast again. It's just an insane. You can't live without it. And then refreshing evasion. Okay. Over to the weapons. Here's an example I have for PVE setup. You're gonna again run that Dex Con or Dex Plus Con. Opal is gonna be insane for PVE. You're gonna have almost 100% uptime if you're playing optimally. Again, you're going to get that monster type Bane. This is going to be the best perk for PvE. In my opinion, I think it's like 19% damage increase at a 600 gear score, which is just nuts. And then Enchanted. And then for the bow, you'd want to run something like Vorpal. Obviously, you would replace this Vorpal with your weapon's best 3rd perk, right? All right, guys. That is the list. I'm going to leave this link down in the description. Let me know if there's any information I should add or remove from this list, or anything else you are looking for from me. Any more content you'd like to see from me, anything you have for me, guys, leave it down in the comments, or visit me at twitch.tv/brandtvx. I'm always streaming the game. I love playing this game. Also, if you can do me a favor and go ahead and like and subscribe on YouTube, I really appreciate it. We're getting really close to that milestone of 1,000 subs on YouTube. Really appreciate the help, guys. All right, thank you so much. I hope this video helped you guys. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.